The Great River, ever since its exploration in 1672, the Mississippi was a hub of exploration, encounter, and exchange. The French wanted to start exploring the New World. The natives of the land of the lakes had always told stories about the Big River. In 1672, the French government sent Louis Joliet and Father Marquette to explore the river. With the help of 5 trading partners, they were able to start their journey to the Big River.
It's often been said that New France, French North America, was a colony of rivers that begins with the St. Lawrence and extends ultimately to the Mississippi. That configuration, the ability of the French to enter the interior of the continent through water, is really important. It enables them to encircle the English colonies which are coming into the continent off of the North Atlantic.
The leader of the expedition, Louis Joliet, was born on September 21st to Jean Joliet and married Abancourt Joliet. Louis was born in a colonial settlement and did not have as much money and respect as the Marquettes. This and the fact that he grew up in an environment where everyone worked for a company made him want to seek his fortune in the lucrative but risky business of trade and exploration. His interests and talent caused Louis Joliet to become a well-known explorer and fur trader in the 1660s and 70s, which made the 27-year-old a clear choice for the task of leading the expedition to the Big River. The negotiator and translator of the expedition, Marquette, was born on June 1st, 1637, in the city of Leon. He was the son of Rose de la Salle Marquette and Nicolas Marquette, who was a respectable lawyer and landowner, giving his family much value. Jacques' affluent background allowed him to reap the benefits of an expensive education which led him to Jesuit schools. Marquette became a priest and learned native languages and customs from the Jesuits. Through the Jesuit order, he gained experience in negotiating and dealing with the natives, which led him to becoming the translator and peacemaker of the expedition. In contrast to the Spanish conquest, the good relations with the natives were extremely important to French exploration, not only because the natives helped keep back the English expansion, but also because they were the basis of the French economy in North America through the lucrative fur trade.
The French are known for creating what they call middle grounds. And these are very different from what the English, the Portuguese, the Spanish, and even the Russians in Alaska created with native peoples. And middle grounds all focuses on this sense that you create an understanding between you and the indigenous peoples. And you have individuals like Father Marquette who will learn indigenous languages, who will go and live among them, create these sort of hybrid societies or communities. And so the French came and understood.
Exchange with the natives had a positive impact on explorers. The natives passed on tips and traded furs and materials for their journey. For instance, Joliet and Marquette were given calmets, shelter, and thanks for staying and expanding their friendship. The natives were so outstandingly friendly because they understood that friendship with France would give them white man's guns, which would allow them to gain the upper hand in conflicts both against enemy tribes and against other Europeans.
So, especially guns, they were vitally important to native peoples, especially because they don't only use guns against Europeans, but they use guns against one another. So the French mostly interacted with the people known as the Algonquians. And they're a language family that includes the Ojibwe here in Wisconsin, Michigan, in Canada. And what they did is they were traditional rivals and enemies of the people known as the Iroquois. And they were in modern-day New York, Pennsylvania. But they had these traditional rivalries. They fought against one another. They warred against one another. They took captives. They took slaves. And so guns transformed that combat.
Joliet and Marquette's journey, though long and hard, was successful. Not only had the pair mapped the Mississippi and proved it could cut off the English, but they also created strong friendships and connections with the native peoples. Both the explorers gained the attention of the public for a short while, but only Joliet was rewarded, as Marquette died soon after. Joliet and Marquette's discovery of the Mississippi River sped up French exploration inland. The Mississippi was incredibly important in exploration and trade because it allowed a quick and a safe way of travel from the north to the south of what is now the United States. Consequently, the Mississippi allowed you to seek shelter from the winter in southern climates, which was important because travel in the winter was a huge hardship in the Great Lakes region. The fact that the Mississippi bisected what later became the United States allowed the French to use the Mississippi to the south and the St. Lawrence River in the north to cut off the English. This opened lands to the west of the Mississippi to be explored without competition. Some of the most important advantages of controlling the Mississippi are that it has the largest drainage system in North America, which allows quick exploration by water of a large area of the continent. The Mississippi region was inhabited with many native peoples, and French settlements were sprinkled along the riverways, becoming the base of a fur trade and an effective barrier against the English expansion to the west. The fur trade on the Mississippi River was a very easy way to earn money. Europeans could sell their daily wares such as kitchen knives, pots, pans, as well as weapons for large amounts of furs, which in turn could be sold for a fat profit, making fur trading a lucrative business. Ultimately, outbreaks and smallpox destroyed the fur trade and decimated the Native American population. However, the Mississippi continued to be a valuable trade route for French powers. The Mississippi held off English westward expansion until Napoleon sold the west bank of the Mississippi in the Louisiana Territory to the English to right his war debt. Ultimately, Napoleon lost the war, the French influence in North America faded, and there was nothing left to stop the English expansion. After the major turn of events for European powers that came about with the Louisiana Purchase, the Mississippi River still played a huge role in shaping North American history. Again as a trade route and a road to expansion, this time its value came from the fact that steamships could travel through it, allowing the delivery of goods and therefore creating the basis of North American commerce.
The Mississippi River divides the United States, or what becomes the United States. How do you connect that when you don't have railroads, when you don't have highways or cars or planes? All you have are boats. How do you connect that? Steamships. And the steamships have to travel along large rivers, large bodies of water, and the Mississippi River is that. So you can get down the Mississippi River, or up the Mississippi River, or to one of its inlets through steam power. And that carries, or that drives U.S. trade, as well as U.S. expansion, as well as U.S. politics into Mexico, into what becomes the American West, into Canada, down through the Mississippi River into Cuba in the 1890s. The Mississippi River is ultimately, it is inexorably vital to the future of the United States.
The Mississippi became much less vital as a trade route in the 1800s because of the creation of large-scale railroads. Yet the Mississippi gained importance in a different way. This was all because of a new conflict that arose: the Civil War. The strategic importance of the Mississippi in the Civil War was not only did the Mississippi bisect the Confederacy and separate their command in the East from the material needed to build and keep their army running in the West, the Mississippi also controlled the economy of the North because they needed the Mississippi to transport their goods. Therefore, both sides of the conflict needed the Mississippi to properly function, so it is not surprising that campaigns were launched to seize control over the river. When the Union captured the river in the Battle of Vicksburg, they cut off most of the supplies to the Confederates. The Confederates, now crippled, had little chance of victory. The Mississippi decided the Civil War as well as the economic successes of the United States, but it continues to be a major influence on our country by the means of the extreme amounts of irrigation it provides, the recreation opportunities, and cheap transportation. The Mississippi, or the Big River, was the main artery of exploration, place of encounter, and exchange between the cultures in North American history. Exploration of the Mississippi River in 1673 by Jacques Marquette, a Jesuit missionary, and Louis Joliet, a fur trader, allowed growth and exploration of North America and consequently changed the games for European powers.